Sorry, I had a little bit of an interruption there. Somebody showed up. Tennis customer showed up, so I had to answer the front door. Anyway, starting the crosses, we're going to put the white on the top half. And there's 19 crosses, so we'll do 9 or 10 at the top and the rest at the bottom. Very distinct contrast with the white and the black strings. Won't be quite as noticeable with the blue, but it'll still be a nice contrast, white and blue. As I'm putting in the crosses, the way I string is to come back after every one and make sure that the two prior to that are nice and parallel to one another. That way I don't have to go back at the end. I know when I get, and straighten them all out, I know when I get done that the racket is finished. A little bit easier to find that grommet with a white string. That's 7. I'll do just a few more here, and that's going to take up about 50% of the frame. which is good because it looks like we have just about enough string to do maybe 2 more crosses. Yep, that's going to work out just about perfect. In fact, I think we'll tie off right here. I over tension this one just a little bit because I know when I tie off that I'm going to lose just a little bit of tension in that cross, in that particular string on the tie off. So I over tension it just a bit. This is where I'll run it in the cross adjacent to it. I did it backwards. I'm going to go back and do it the other way. Got to make sure you copy so you get a correct double half hitch. I did it the wrong way there. So that's the beautiful thing about stringing is there's plenty of opportunity to make mistakes. Okay, it's, as you can see, this one does not want to stay up because there's no string over here tensioning it to the left. When we get that new one started, then it'll move back over. And I think what we'll do is we'll tie off both of them over here so we keep the same over and under pattern. Again, this blue string is Yonex Polytour Pro 16L. There we go. This is always the hardest part, is tying off. Okay, as you can see, the last one here finished over the top in the normal pattern. So when we go back again, we're gonna do the same thing. We'll go start underneath. That way we finish coming out over the top on the other side. So now we have a little bit of pressure over here, and that string next to it, the last white one, straightens out real nice. That's a good contrast. You can see the three main colors for the school, the black, the blue, and the white. This is going to look real nice when it's done. For those of you that have been nice enough to view some of my other videos, you'll notice that this is a new angle looking down this way at the rack, and all my previous videos were shot from directly above, looking straight down at the frame. So this is a new view, so to speak, a new aspect. I think it shows the stringing a little bit more. You get to see the workings of the machine a little bit better. Because the actual stringing part of it it's pretty routine after a while. And one of these days I'm going to learn how to fast forward through all this back and forth business when I get a little bit better at it. Take just a little bit of time to get them nice and parallel to one another. Yeah, that's looking really nice. I'm glad we decided to do this. What might even be nicer is to go like blue, white, blue, third, third, third. You can actually do any kind of combination, both with the mains and the crosses, with if the grommets will allow you to do it, and really come up with some pretty patterns. And I also, you can also do hybrids where you have maybe a poly or 2 or 3 colors of polys in the mains, and then come back a couple pounds different with a multi-filament of some sort, a synthetic gut or a gut, in the crosses. And, if you like playing with hybrid setups, there's a lot of there. It's gaining popularity. It had been more popular here until recent years, and it seems as the cost of string and stringing has gone up, people have opted to go to full sets of poly. They just back off on the tension a few pounds and go with the polys, and they are lasting a lot longer than your multi-filaments do. So you get maybe 3 or 4 times the duration the strings will last for a set of poly versus a set of multi-filament. And for the for the boys, the harder they hit the ball, and the high school boys hit the ball really hard, so their sets of polys aren't lasting months like they will for the younger players. But it's still better to string one every week or 2 weeks as opposed to every few days. So poly, and they've gone up in cost too. A really good set of poly, like the Polytour Rev. I have this in white, lavender, and orange, is real popular around here, especially with the guys and some of the girls. and it's pushing $20 a set now, retail. So a little bit cheaper to buy it by the reel, and you know, I can keep the cost down because I take the string off the reel judiciously, and I can get maybe 17 and a half, 18 rackets out of a reel, and that keeps the per racket cost down a little bit, and I pass that on to my customers. So if you can keep, you know, a set of string in the $15, $16 or less range, that way a racket will only cost you, you know, $30-ish to string, and you take it to some locations where they charge $20 labor and they mark up the string a little bit, or if you go online and you buy sets of string and you pay retail for them, there's a lot of the strings are in the $17 to $20, $22 per set range, and that coupled with labor, that gets expensive if you're doing it every couple weeks. So parents, I feel for you. I really try and make it so it's affordable, plays well. That's the most important thing, that they like it and they play well with it. And then after that, I try and help you out with the cost as much as I can. Okay, so we got down to the cross where it goes to the next main, the next inside main, so we have to go over the top of that one and continue on to keep our pattern correct. And here when you get down to the end, you end up having to do each one by hand. There's just not enough room in there to weave underneath. But this is just for a couple strings and it goes pretty fast. I always figure if you can keep each cross to about, you know, 35 to 45 seconds, that's pretty good. The main should take you about 5 or 6 minutes, and then the crosses about 20, 25 minutes. So about 25 minutes to a half an hour stringing per racket. That's a good amount. And now we're ready to tie off here. That was the last cross. So we'll go up here and run it through. As you can see, I had a little bit left over on that one. Again, better to have a little bit too much than not enough. And there you have it. Pretty cool for a school that's colors are blue and white and black. And I kind of gauge that off of, I like to look at the football uniforms and the helmets and see what kind of color combinations they use and judge that for the school colors, for the patterns, for the racket. So looks pretty good. I guess it could also be a back the blue racket. But there you have it. This is set up in an Astro 105 with West Iron County Wycon colors. Y'all have a good day.